Alright, so in contrast to the previous video, these are things I would like to see fixed, changed, and refined in Ninja Gaiden 4. Like, obviously, yeah, I do like the game a lot. It's the phenomenal Ninja Gaiden game. However, there are some things that are super fucking annoying. Now, just as like a disclaimer, I'm just gonna say this like once to get it out of the way. As far as like content goes and things like with Ryu goes and shit like this, that's not going to be the point of this discussion. This discussion is going to focus on like refinement, things that are actually in this game that could be improved, that are either just like badly designed or annoying as shit. I will say, as far as like the additional content goes, like Ryu does need to be fleshed out. I've said this in my DLC predictions video. If Ryu doesn't get like a few weapons and his own story, it's just going to stain this game, and I don't want that, right? Because I do really like this game. And if this game has that like stain and stigma on it, like, yeah, it was fucking great, but goddamn did they fail like majorly in this one aspect, which happens to be like Ryu and like what he is able to do. You know, not it's not just like his weapons, that's like a minor part of it. It's more, in my opinion, it's more having his own like thing in this game, because the way they did the story, he doesn't have his own thing really. He needs his own thing, his own little missions, his own something to like have his own identity in this game, rather than just playing like anti-hero, right? So yes, that is something that's very important, but it's been fucking beaten to a dead horse, so there's no point in repeating it. Now, the things that actually do like severely annoy me on this game, like, first of all, I want to talk about this, like the suck to target, like it, I mean, it's not as bad as people say, but the things that do like drive me fucking crazy, first of all, the tracking issues people talk about. So like any Ninja Gaiden game, the tracking is bad a lot of times, and this is in Ninja Gaiden 2. You saw it just in my last video. In Ninja Gaiden 1, I'm trying to do fiend sealers to the enemy. You literally do an XY, and then you try to do a fiend sealer to the dude you just hit, and he does a haze straight slash over here. NG2, you constantly are like trying to do an OT, and he does a haze straight slash to some random fucking dude. I honestly didn't really have too many tracking issues in this game until the previous update, other than like ranged enemies. A lot of times when you're trying to target a ranged enemy, he won't. This previous update seems to be a lot worse, and I have had a lot of more problems with tracking in general. However, again, like I've said, this is always a problem in Ninja Gaiden, and it's always like very exaggerated. The people who aren't very good at like learning how to deal with how the game's tracking and camera works are the people that struggle and bitch about it, and then they like praise it in the game that they seem to like better. Honestly, Ninja Gaiden 3 did the best with this. NG1, 2, and 4 all have issues with this. The one thing Ninja Gaiden 3 does better is like how the tracking, priority, and targeting system works. Obviously, that could be improved, and I want to see it improved. I think the big problem is, you know, there's this game, it's not like the other games where it's kind of like a take your turn with the enemies, where enemies kind of just like, one enemy will attack and the others will just kind of hang out, and then the other will attack, and like you maybe have like two enemies actually, like even in Ninja Gaiden 2, you'll have a bunch of enemies on the screen. Only like a couple of them are typically engaged with you. In this game, a bunch of enemies are engaged with you at all times. And I think the targeting system is trying to prioritize whoever's like coming at you. So whoever's attacking you is who it tries to prioritize. Which I understand why they would try that out, but that's not how you should do it, because sometimes I don't give a shit about the guy that's coming at me. I care about the guy that I'm, you know, trying to isolate to take out. I'll deal with whatever is happening to me defensively off the screen. I want to deal with the guy I'm coming at. So, you know, if by the off chance anybody at Team Ninja or Platinum ever sees this, change that one simple thing. Let us prioritize who we want to prioritize, not prioritize who's attacking us. And you can see that with like the ranged shit too. You're trying to like take out a ranged guy, but some dude on the ground is the one that's like most actively attacking you. It'll go toward the one on the ground that's actively attacking you. I'm like 99% sure that's the problem with this game's tracking system. So fix that shit. Second, The biggest problem, checkpoints. The way the checkpoints work in this game are so fucking infuriating. I can't even begin to describe how infuriating the checkpoints are. Let us save the fucking game manually at whatever, the Umi station, whatever the hell it's called. Let us fucking manually save the game, first of all. Second of all, every time you either talk to Tyron or talk to Umi, you automatically save the game. Do you know how fucking annoying it is? You're trying to do a fresh save Master Ninja run. It's a challenge run, right? It's a hard run. You're dying to a hard fight that happens to be just after an Umi station and a Tyron station. You spend a minute. It's only like 30 seconds to a minute, but it's fucking it's the most infuriating minute of your life. You're buying all the upgrades, you're buying all the items you need, you're doing your mission things, blah blah blah, and then you die and have to redo all of that, even though you were just at a save. First of all, let those checkpoints save. Second of all, let them manually save. Why do they need to manually save? Because if you want to do a challenge run, you have to basically have to complete the goddamn chapter if you want to actually save the game. My very first fresh save Master Ninja run, it took me so goddamn long to get through chapter 1. I got to the last fight in chapter 1, which is, I don't know if it's the hardest fight in chapter 1. The very first fight before Tyron is very difficult. This fight is also very difficult, and I died a bunch, and I was like, you know what, I'm fucking calling it good. My checkpoint's saved somewhere where that's not a big deal. I'll come back. The only other save I had at the game at the time was my first save, which was completed. I did my second Master Ninja New Game Plus run, and I just stopped. So the checkpoint was overwritten, and the actual manual save was like all chapters completed, finished the game. Somehow I lost that that fucking fresh save chapter 1 Master Ninja run, and that was the most heartbreaking shit I have ever fucking seen in my life. The second most frustrating shit that's happened in this game, in the Drown District, there's like a black scale, there's a health upgrade. I don't know if it's a black, I think it's a black scale that you can grab, okay? It's in a fight where there's like some water in the middle, and then there's a couple of those big shark heads that you have to take out, and there's a chest where you grab it. Okay, I did that fight. I grabbed my health item. You open a cage and you go to the next room. In this next room, there's a Van Gelf and a couple of the like Oni demon fuckers with machetes, and of course I died. And it spawns me at the gate after my fucking health upgrade that I grabbed. And that health upgrade you can't grab until after you clear the fight in that specific room. I didn't think to go back and check that fucking chest because it spawned me literally in the next fucking room. And when I got done with the chapter, I went to the Umi station at the next chapter to get my health upgrade, and I'm like, oh my god, that's not in my fucking inventory, bro. And it's really like not that big, but like on your first fresh save Master Ninja run, you want those health upgrades bad. You're like begging for them, like they can't come fast enough. So the checkpoint system spawned me after the item, but took the item out of my inventory and left that chest locked. Like the way this checkpoint system works is it's nonsensical. It makes zero fucking sense. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. It needs to be fixed. If you've grabbed an item, gone to the store, bought anything, and you die, that shit needs to be saved. And you need to let us manually save, because it makes doing a challenge run so fucking punishing, because that's all you can't do anything else. Let's say you're working on a challenge run, but you still want to do a casual Master Ninja run. You can't do both at the same time, because your challenge run's going to be the one that gets stuck in the middle of a chapter. And that the checkpoint gets overwritten. The checkpoint gets overwritten, so you're basically stuck getting your challenge run to the end of a chapter. And that makes challenge running this game just like so fucking dumb and punishing. And like it honestly makes me want to like fucking create an alternate Steam profile, family share it, and just do that profile specifically for challenge runs, just so I don't have to like encounter this. But yeah, the way the priority system works, Oh, I think the biggest issue is it's tracking the person that's attacking you. Let me track the person my stick is pointed towards. I actually, in Ninja Gaiden 2, I have a big problem with like trying to wind path and he'll just like randomly jump somewhere. I don't have that problem here. Wind path tracking is on point, but attack tracking is trying to prioritize the person that's attacking you or that's like actively targeting you. I don't know exactly what it is, but it makes it super fucking frustrating. Also, camera recenters. So in previous Ninja Gaiden games, you know, just like this, you could turn the camera and you could recenter it. However, in Ninja Gaiden 4, you can't just recenter the camera. It automatically forces you to lock onto an enemy. And it makes control the camera in this game isn't like bad, but still this like is like as a certified Ninja Gaiden vet, this shit is annoying as hell. Because sometimes I want to reset the camera without locking onto somebody. And I literally cannot do that. I cannot recenter the camera without locking on. And then when you try to like lock off, sometimes it like automatically switches and it's just such a pain in the ass. Give us an option, even if it's like a different button, to where we can have a camera recenter and a lock on different buttons. The fact that you thought it was a good idea to put lock on and camera center on the same button when you have the type of game where you have 30 enemies on the screen at the same time is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. The camera for bosses, the lock on for bosses is phenomenal. It's the best boss camera in Ninja Gaiden, like without a question. And having the lock on for bosses is great. It's done really well. There's only like one fight where it sucks, and it's the big, I don't know what it's called, the big thing you fight before the shark. I honestly don't know what to call it. It kind of looks like a gecko or a lizard or some shit, and it has the blue or purple skeleton. That's the only boss fight where this like lock-on issue kind of sucks. But let us recenter the fucking camera without locking on. That shit is beyond annoying. Make the checkpoints make fucking sense. If you save at an Umi shrine, if you go to an Umi shrine or you talk to Tyron, that needs to count as a checkpoint. It's just wasted fucking time. Give us manual saves in the middle of the goddamn game. That needs to happen. Now, I've seen people talk about, like, I don't think the combat needs tweaks at all. To be honest with you, like, I literally can't think of anything about the combat that I want changed. I've seen, you know, obviously people try to bitch about like Master Ninja damage, and they try to bitch about how enemies can suck your target. But that doesn't bother me, and here's why it doesn't bother me, because it's Ninja Gaiden, bitch, and Ninja Gaiden needs some sort of bullshit to be hard on Master Ninja. Why is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black too easy? Because you don't have the Ninja Gaiden 2 bullshit. Imagine Razor's Edge without like fucking ridiculous enemy defense. You would just if you didn't have to deal with like alchemists and fucking whatever those big weird things are called, their defense, it would be significantly too easy, right? Imagine Ninja Gaiden 4 if you didn't have enemies that could just snap in at you from anywhere with insane tracking. It would be significantly too easy. And in fact, it's funny because people bitched about the tracking in Rise of the Ronin too. They're like, God damn, enemy tracking needs to be nerfed. Like, no, it doesn't. Enemy tracking does not need to be nerfed in Rise of the Ronin. It does not need to be nerfed in Ninja Gaiden. This isn't a Souls game, brother. We're not strafing enemy attacks. You have plenty of defensive options. You can block, you can perfect dodge, you can get up on your shit, you can Blood Raven cancel. I've also seen people want like iframes out of UTs. That's not so, like, you know, so you're vulnerable here. See how long there's like a split second while you're vulnerable. That doesn't matter because people just need to learn the mechanics of the game, and they need to start doing shit like this. Like every time I finish a UT or an OT or something and I see I'm surrounded, I do this, like out of instinct, or this, or, you know, I've talked about these in my other videos. You know, you have to use your Blood Raven and mobility, or just straight up like Blood Raven cancel into a block. You can always Blood Raven cancel in a block. So those things that don't need to be changed. To me, like the biggest issues with the game specifically come down to like the checkpoint system, the tracking, the targeting, things like this that could make the game a lot more refined. And obviously on top of that, like I said, I don't want to beat it with the dead horse, but Ryu needs his own shit. He does, and we need a better mission mode. The trials are fine, but we need a good, true, proper end game. And I think like maybe their thought process was New Game plus Master Ninja is difficult. Fresh Save Master Ninja is very hard. Death Wish Master Ninja is very hard. So maybe their thought process was like, hey, you know, we'll give them all these, you know, different things to kind of like challenge themselves through the story. But Ninja Gaiden does need a proper end game with mission mode. And we'll wait and see what the DLC gives. Obviously, maybe this will get this, but this is something that's a different topic. That's like gameplay, story additions. What I'm talking about now are like fixes that need to fucking happen that would allow the combat to just flow a lot better. Imagine if you could jump into the air and target your ranged enemy, or imagine, you know, like there's some parts in like chapter 12 and 13 where there's a ranged enemy, one of those kite dudes up in the air, and I'm trying with all my might to spam my fucking shuriken, my windmill shurikens at him, and I just can't fucking hit him. Like, I just can't. I'm facing him. I'm trying to lock onto him, but it's locking onto the person, the melee guy that's coming at me. But I don't care about that melee guy. I can dodge him. I can block him. I need this ranged fucking guy taken out now. But my fucking windmill shurikens aren't going at him. They're going at the guy who's attacking me. So that one little change to where it could kind of change how the prioritization is working would make such a fucking difference in combat flow. So yeah, those are like the fixes and optimization that I want to see with this game. Peace out, bruh.